Welcome to Lola's Frugal Life Podcast. If you're on a mission to be more frugal with both your time and money, you're in the right place. In this podcast, we talk about topics that help enhance living a frugal lifestyle. The goal is to save time and money where we can so that we can use the rest on what matters most to us. We talk a lot about both time and money management so that we can waste as little as possible on both. We do this while also embracing a progress over perfection mindset. If that sounds good to you, then please stick around for the latest episode right after a few quick words from our sponsor. Hi everyone, welcome back to my weekly meal plan episode. If this is new to you, I share an episode every Wednesday of my family's meal plan for the upcoming week. I also have a blog post that goes along with this episode on my website at lolasfrugallife.com. I think that meal planning is just so important in making life easier, and I think we get so hung up on needing to make different meals all the time and trying new recipes and all these things that it can kind of get overwhelming. So I no longer do that. I rotate my meals on a regular basis and I fill in the gaps with some new recipes sometimes and sometimes old ones that I use all the time. And it just makes my life so much easier knowing that I have a meal plan in place every single week without very much effort at all. So this hopefully will give you some inspiration or some ideas to get your meal plan together. And this meal plan starts on Saturday, November 25th. So this Saturday, I'm going to be making creamy herbed pork chops, which is from allrecipes.com. I really just kind of use this as a placeholder. I don't make the creamy part of this recipe. I really just take the pork chops, bone-in pork chops. I season them with Montreal steak seasoning, and I cook them up in a frying pan with butter, and they come out really good just like that. Very simple, but they taste really good. And then as a side, I'm going to be doing vegetarian tater tot casserole number 2, which is also from allrecipes.com. This is, you take frozen tater tots and sour cream and shredded cheese and cream and mushroom soup. And you're actually supposed to top it with French fried onions too, which I actually never do. Not for any reason. I just always skip that part. But anyway, you just bake it in the oven. And it makes a nice side dish casserole to go with the pork chops. And then we'll also do some type of frozen vegetables to go on the side with that. For Sunday, I'm going to be doing baked ziti, which is baked ziti Roman numeral 2. Actually, it's from allrecipes.com. It's just your very basic baked ziti recipe. It's ziti pasta with ricotta cheese, mozzarella, egg, spaghetti sauce, and Parmesan cheese. And then I'm also going to be making Chef John's Italian meatballs, which is also from allrecipes.com. It's just a basic meatball recipe. It's got breadcrumbs, meat, eggs, seasoning. It's just a recipe that bakes in the oven, so it's pretty simple to make. What I do is I make the baked ziti, I pop that in the oven, and then I prepare the meatballs while that's baking, because the meatballs only have to cook about 20 minutes, and the ziti is supposed to sit out on the counter to cool for about 15 minutes when it comes out of the oven anyway, so the timing just kind of works out good like that. For Monday, I'm going to be doing cheesy crispy chicken. This is a recipe where you take chicken breast and you dip it in milk, Ritz crackers, and shredded cheese. I don't actually dip it in the shredded cheese. I just do the milk and the Ritz crackers, and then I take shredded cheese and just sprinkle it over the top. I just find it much easier than trying to get the cheese to stick to the chicken by dipping it in it. So that's how I do that. And then as a side, I'm going to be making Sarah's rice pilaf, again from allrecipes.com. I just happen to get a ton of my recipes from there. They're obviously not a sponsor or anything, but that's where that recipe comes from. And then again, just some frozen vegetables on the side, whatever I happen to have on hand. For Tuesday, we do some type of Mexican theme meal. This week happens to be tacos. So I don't have a recipe to share for this one. It's just basic tacos. I buy some ground beef. I actually don't even buy taco seasoning anymore because I've just gotten, I don't know, I just got so lazy with it. I just season the meat with some seasoned salt and some chili powder. And we like it. So just cook that up, and then I'll put out some hard shells, some soft shells, some shredded cheese, lettuce, tomato, sour cream, avocados if I have them, jalapenos, and we will all just make tacos. And then I'm actually going to be probably making a frozen pizza that night also, because some of us like to make taco pizza. If you've never had taco pizza, I know it sounds weird, but give it a try. It's really good. You put the warm meat on the pizza and then top it with cold lettuce and tomato, and it actually tastes really good. Oh, and put jalapenos on there too if you like those. For Wednesday, we usually do a seafood meal. This Wednesday, I'm going to be doing baked salmon, which is so easy. I just buy the frozen salmon fillets and defrost them and put them in the oven after brushing them with olive oil and season them with McCormick Smokehouse maple seasoning. Bake them at 450 degrees for 10 to 12 minutes, and they come out perfect. And then as a side, I usually always make egg noodles with butter and some frozen vegetables again. Thursday, I do not have a meal to share. We have a family birthday that night, and we're going to be ordering in food, so I will not be cooking on Thursday. Friday is going to be hamburgers. We do hamburgers every other Friday. So I don't have a recipe to share for the hamburgers. I just take ground beef and just make it into patties and cook it up in a frying pan. And then I'm going to be doing some oven fresh seasoned potato wedges, which is from allrecipes.com. I feel like almost every one of my recipes this week was from allrecipes.com. That doesn't usually happen. So the potato wedges on the side, and then pork and beans, just like a can. We usually get like the Bush's baked beans, a can of those on the side with the hamburgers and the potatoes. And that's it. That's it for this week's meal plan. Like I said, you can find this entire meal plan and one for every week that this episode comes out on my blog post at lolasfrugallife.com. And also, if you like my Facebook page, I always post a link to the meal plan for each week as it comes up. So if you are interested in ever wanting to be able to remember that it's coming out, if you wanted to find any of the recipes, that's a good reminder too, because you'll get the notification of the post. So that's it for this week. Thank you so much for listening, and I will see you back here next week. So thank you for checking in for this podcast episode. And don't forget, you can always email me with any questions or suggestions at lolasfrugallife@gmail.com. You can follow me on Instagram and Facebook at lolasfrugallife. And you can find a blog post for most of my episodes and definitely all of my meal plan episodes at lolasfrugallife.com. You can also join our private listeners group at facebook.com/groups/lolasfrugallife. And if you enjoy the show, please make sure to subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you listen from. And I would love it if you would screenshot the show and tag me on Instagram so I could see you're listening. Also, if you can please take a couple of seconds to rate and review the podcast. Those ratings and reviews are what help the show come up better in search results so that other people can find this podcast. So that will really help me in growing my audience. So that's it for today. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope you have an awesome day.